Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Our guests today, Jaden and Erica Peck. Jaden and Erica, it's really great to meet you guys. We're so happy to have you on. And please tell us, first of all, where you're calling in from and what you guys do for a living with Mississippi River Flavor.
So we are from Wabasha, Minnesota, small town right on the Mississippi River. And Mississippi River Flavor Company was founded 4 years ago, roughly, and we handcraft all natural spice blends, rubs. We expanded to cheesecake mixes and pretty much anything dry to add flavor. We've expanded awesome. A bunch.
Very cool. And then so tell me a little bit about your background, I suppose, like, what got you into wanting to do this space? I mean, was this something that, was family-based for you guys, or where'd you kind of come up with this idea? And what did you kind of notice out there in the market as far as, other products in this space that, you were looking to do a little bit better or unique?
Sure. So both of us are professionally trained chefs in the military.
Very cool.
We cooked in the nuclear missile fields while we were out there. And I've always been interested in the food side of things and the culinary aspect. And we kind of, noticed that out in the marketplace, there's a lot of products, but there's a lot of products with, ingredients you can't pronounce. There's artificial everything, anti-caking agents, things like that you don't need. And we'd always made ingredients or blends and things like that for ourselves and family and friends. And we decided one day that we'd give it a shot, and COVID had hit and we'd been laid off from our jobs like most people. And, we thought, well, we need to do something. And we sent out a bunch of samples to friends and family, and it took off. And we did farmers markets and craft shows and craft things like that. And it blew up. And now we're at the point where we have our own standalone retail store and website and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's grown quite a bit.
That's awesome. No, I love that story. And what was your kind of general, strategy when you first launched the brand? I mean, I assume you didn't start with the brick and mortar store straight away. How were you? I mean, I know you said you're doing local events and kind of selling to a local community. Did you kind of go online from there? Did you get kind of more into retail or go into brick and mortar after that? Can you kind of break down the, the progression of, selling locally and then into other channels?
Sure. We started primarily on Facebook, just letting people know who we were. We created a Facebook page, invited as many friends and family and people we knew to our page, kind of let them know what we were doing. And like I said, we sent out samples. We started word of mouth. I mean, we started from nothing. I mean, we still have yet to take out a bank loan. Everything has been done organically. And it's been able to grow that way. But we've just done it all by word of mouth and getting out there as much as we could. Almost annoyingly, we would post on Facebook and tell people about our business and, pass out business cards and hang up flyers and, did everything that we could to kind of get people to see that we were out there. So.
And we still find people even in our own community now that don't know we're here. So there's still a lot more room to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I know we've talked a little bit before we started here today about, finding commonality between, different people I have on the podcast. And that is something that I find in all different types of, successes in different industries is just like, start small. Start with your local community when you're selling something, especially in the CPG space, because that feedback that you're going to get is going to be invaluable to you. Like, I think so there's so many avenues to go down, and there's a lot of people out there that think they have the silver bullet to selling online or like getting into retail or doing any of those things. And you can spread yourself a little too thin, trying to do those campaigns and not getting like a real following or any real feedback from people in your immediate community to kind of have your back and, start as have a real base there. So, I applaud you guys for that. I think that's definitely the right way to go. And if like I said, I ask a lot of people that have been, in business for 20 plus years sometimes, and that's always the advice that they give as a number one is just start small, don't get off to the races too quick. And so I love that. I love that perspective. I appreciate you guys sharing that. And yeah, so I guess up to this point, here in 2024, what is kind of the breakdown between, what you're selling and I'm sure you're still doing events, which is probably no small part of, what you do still. What is kind of the breakdown between what you're doing in wholesale and retail sales versus, your direct to consumer selling, whether it's Amazon or through your website? What's kind of the breakdown there?
We ended last year looking toward moving into wholesaling. We are in a couple of local retail spots. I think we found out pretty quickly that that's not the path we want to go. There's just there's the market's pretty saturated when you walk into a retail place and you walk into spices. Like, we like to be able to connect with our customers. We like to explain the different flavors to them and make suggestions to them. And then we lose control of our product. I mean, it can sit on the shelf for 9 months and our customer is not going to know that.
Right.
And then our business is judged by that product. So we make everything in small batches. We keep everything small, simple, local. So we prefer just to, when you order online, we're going to make it within the next couple of days and you're going to get a fresh bottle. You walk into our store, it's been made within the last few days. So we like to keep control of the product in that area. And we just like to keep that connection. So we probably will not keep the retail aspect going once these are the wholesaling going, once these blow out. So a lot of our income is vendor events right now. We're trying to get more traffic on our website. And
our retail location, we've been open literally probably 3 weeks now.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
So it's brand
Congrats
new.
Then. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. The location that we're at is, like she said, we're on just a block down from the Mississippi River in a very small town. Thankfully, our town gets a lot of tourists, 1, because of the river, 2, because we have the National Eagle Center here. So that brings a lot of tourists in, and, a couple other things that bring tourists in. So that helps us. But I mean, with regards to the wholesaling, I mean, we do all of our own label design, all of our own internet design, everything is us. So one thing I've tried to do is research other companies and see how they market their product and try and take it a step above that, have our labels look a little bit more fun or brighter, or a particular type font that's going to grab your attention. And I mean, that aspect has helped us in the wholesale, but like she said, it's been really difficult wholesale wise. And we're small. I mean, at some point down the road, maybe, but I don't know if we ever want to be to where we've got a giant warehouse and we're wholesaling to, major grocery store chains, because like she said, we lose that connection. So,
yeah, no, sorry, go ahead. No, yeah.
I was gonna say, we hand mix everything. So when someone wants to place an order for 12,000 bottles, it's like,
I mean,
ridiculous.
We can do it. It just takes, probably a couple of weeks to get that 12,000 bottles done. But we know what goes into it. It's all us. So, I mean, we take pride in that for sure. So.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And that is definitely an advantage insofar as that you guys are selling out of a brick and mortar store and also online, is like that direct customer interaction is so invaluable. And I think it drives like recurring business, like even from like a revenue driving standpoint, much better than it does in something that's on a shelf. Somebody might try, the next time they go back, maybe it's not there. They go to a different store, maybe they can't find it, and then like they'll never think about it again. You know what I mean? So I think those interactions are integral for sure, especially at the growing stage of business. I think you guys have a very healthy and nuanced real perspective on that, and I think it'll definitely work out better for you guys in the long run for sure. I think some people will like to jump into wholesale as quick as they can. They just think that's like the silver bullet to success, and it's not always. Those relationships are not. They need to be. You need to be diligent in those relationships, and sometimes you have to say no, like you all have. So I think that's a really important perspective for anybody maybe newer in a CPG brand or maybe even thinking about getting into it. I mean, definitely take that into consideration. It's not just like just because you get in Walmart, it's going to all be good. Like it might not be a good fit there. They might pull you in 3 weeks, and then now you have a warehouse full of stuff because you're supposed to have 60,000 units over 6 months, and then they pull you in, and now you have nothing but product that you're not going to sell for a year. So no, I appreciate you sharing that. I think it's a really important message, and something I definitely hear from other folks as well. So anecdotal evidence over time, when you hear it 30 times, it's not so anecdotal anymore. So I think it's important for people to hear the reiteration of people that are having success and are experiencing a lot of growth like you guys are. So I appreciate that.
Well, in a good portion of our sales, we give back to different veterans organizations because we are.
That's
and
awesome.
If it is, like you said, if it is sitting in a store, the customer might not know that. But had they known that, they might purchase it because they're a veteran or their friend was a veteran, So we lose that part of it too, which, not to use that to an advantage, because that's not what we do. But I think it gives people, hey, I'm doing something, I'm doing good by purchasing this product. And they might not know that if we're not there to tell them. So.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. And, it's definitely when you think about buying from like a more local vendor like you guys are, I mean, that, as a buyer, you're supporting them because you support also what they do. So I think you use that as a way to give back for, people supporting you guys, which is a beautiful thing naturally. And, I don't think to use that, I don't think you should feel, any type of way about, like flaunting that as much as you can, because it's an amazing thing. And I think people would be like driven for you. I mean, I certainly do whenever I see anything that, gives back to veterans or is even especially veteran owned like you all. It's definitely a point of emphasis for me. I think probably a lot of people feel that way, especially in your part of the country. In New York State, I don't think probably maybe not as much, but yeah. So but yeah, so it's no, it's amazing. I really love what you guys are doing. And I guess when you think about, driving more of your online sales, I mean, what are you kind of thinking about, doing on that front? Are you doing any kind of paid advertising now? Are you looking to get into that more? Are you looking to maybe just ramp up your social media presence a little more? What's kind of the general strategy if you're driving more of the e-commerce sales you guys are looking to do?
Everything you said, really. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd like to personally get away from the social media aspect of it being our sole direction.
Mm-hmm.
We are eventually going to do print media and do, radio and streaming services and things like that. We have a commercial made. We just have to have a place to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great commercial. It's funny. We're in it, which is kind of nice too. But having that direction and knowing where to put it, what services to put it on, where to market it at is a little difficult to, it's hard to find out where to do that. But I'd like to get away from the social media. I think Facebook does, it helped us start and get our name out there. But I think we've kind of hit a wall with Facebook. And I think as, the generations start to move away from using Facebook and start using everything else, I'm not a TikTok guy. I'm not an Instagram guy. I don't understand that stuff. So, I mean, I think the marketing aspect and getting out there advertising wise is definitely our next step. It's just trying to figure out the most cost effective way to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've tried different things. Like we sent our stuff to a few different TikTok chefs and they reviewed them and got a good couple of followers from there and, little spikes here and there. So that was fun seeing different people try our stuff.
I mean, we even, we have a mutual friend with Mark Paul Gossler from Saved by the Bell. And so awesome. we sent him one of our 90s themed boxes of spices. And he actually took a picture with our Saved by the Bell pepper. And I mean, that's been really cool. Just telling people about that when they come in and they see the picture and they're like, is that who I think it is? I'm like, yeah, he's a really nice guy. So, it's little things like that just kind of fall in our lap that we try and take advantage of. But I mean, we're getting there. It's just the advertising aspect and knowing where to spend your money and have it not be a waste is difficult, especially in our small little part of the country. I mean, being such a small community, it's hard to know where to put your money. But
yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And I know I mentioned this to you that I always like to ask this question on the podcast. So I'm definitely curious to hear your guys' answer to it as well, which is, if you could go back to, the beginning of the brand, knowing everything you know, and everything you've learned along the way. I know you mentioned, your wholesale relationship wasn't really in your best interest at this time, things like that, all the things you've learned along the way. If you could give yourself one piece of advice or give anybody else a piece of advice, if they were to start a business kind of similar to yours, what do you think that piece of advice would be?
I mean, I
think honestly, it's take it slow and don't try and grow and expect to have tons and tons of customers right away, because it's not going to happen. I had that idea. I mean, I thought that's what was going to happen because this is my first business and I had never, I thought what we had was a gold mine. I mean, it's $1 billion industry. We should have no problem finding customers. And that didn't happen. So I got a little frustrated and there's been moments where I was like, why am I doing this? But then I think about the reason that we started and what we're giving back to. So, I mean, it's just, be patient. Have as much patience as possible.
Don't be afraid to ask questions and ask for help. Sometimes you don't know what to ask.
Yeah.
So, research, listen to podcasts. Yeah.
Research everywhere. I mean, that's how I've every single flavor I've come up with, I've done research on, and we trial and error. I mean, we have a cherry cola barbecue flavor that I did as much research as possible. And
wow,
what's that?
That sounds good, man. Yeah.
Oh, it is good. Yeah.
Just hearing it out loud, it's like, wow. Yeah.
I found out that McCormick doesn't even have it. They're in the works, but it's a process for them. Mm-hmm. And there's only one other company that has a cherry cola barbecue, but ours is the only all natural one in the country. So, I mean, it's just doing the research and finding those little niches that you can, the things that are going to make people be like, oh, that sounds really good. Mm-hmm. Not something they're just going to see on the grocery store shelf.
Right.
So,
and it's cool because I mean we've traveled all over the country, so we can kind of been able to pull from flavors from different places that we've been and bring it to Minnesota, which is traditionally pretty
salt and pepper
bland. So like I'm from New York and he's from Iowa, and then we've been stationed
Montana and Texas, we've lived
Alaska, and a few different. It's just fun to play around with those flavors and to bring that back here.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I absolutely love that. And it's great advice. And I will say, like, it's definitely, again, another common experience I find in having these interviews, like, especially what you said, Jaden, which is, just that CPG growth is a slow burn. It's not like you see on social media. It's not like, the overnight success. It never is. Some people like to flaunt that and act like that's how they did it later on when they're already having success, but it's rarely true. So I definitely like to bring, some kind of down to earthedness in these conversations by asking that question. It's a very common answer that I get. And another one kind of similar to what you also said, which was, sometimes you feel like quitting, you feel like, why am I doing this? Some really funny knee-jerk reactions I get to that question are like, what would you do differently? Don't quit your day job. Like, just don't do it. Like, I know but they always followed up exactly like you did, which is like, no, like, of course I would never change anything for the world. I love what I do. I love my whys. I love having control of this and being able to give back in the ways that you all do and that other people do as well. So I really appreciate that answer. It's amazing. It's great advice for anybody listening. So I really appreciate that. And just want to give you guys a quick opportunity as well before we hop over, just plug your website, your social media pages, anywhere to keep in touch with you guys. If anybody's maybe interested in a potential, business partnership or just wants to try it out or place an order, let everybody know how to stay in touch with you all.
Sure. You can find us at www.mississippiriverflavorcompany.com. It's our website. You can find all of our products on there. We've kind of branched out into like grilling tools and things like that, grilling accessories to kind of add to your flavors. Facebook
is at MRFC Spice.
Awesome.
Instagram is at Mississippi River Flavor.
Yeah, she does all the Instagram stuff.
And I think TikTok is about the same. One of those two, but there's a link to all of them on our website.
Yep. Link on our website. Go to our Facebook. Like I said, if you're ever around the Wabasha, Minnesota area, it's a beautiful, beautiful community right on the Mississippi River. We have the most largest population of bald eagles per capita I believe in the world. So we have the Eagle Center here. So, come and take a look and stop in the store and, find us on all of our social media and keep an eye out on streaming services for our commercial. Awesome. Hopefully soon we can get that on there. So
amazing.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, I just want to say thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate all your perspectives on what you're doing, especially, with giving back to the veterans community. And thank you both for your service as well. Just want to wish you all the best of luck, continued success. I look forward to keeping in touch with you guys. And yeah, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.